Welcome to AI Rounds, your weekly dose of AI in medicine and education.
We are your hosts, Dr. Nuria
and Dr. Morgan Leaf. Each week, we'll bring you a quick dive into the latest in artificial intelligence and how it's transforming healthcare, medical education, and medical communications.
From the tools changing how we teach, learn, and write, to breakthroughs shaping patient care. If it's new, exciting, or just plain useful, we're talking about it.
In just 10 to 15 minutes, we'll get you up to speed and maybe even spark your next big idea.
Let's make the rounds.
Abigale, tell us what you are going to be discussing at the Early Career Medical Writer Summit.
Yeah, thanks, Morgan. I'm going to talk about the role of community in the career of a freelance medical writer, or I should say freelancer in medcoms, because I think it's important for everyone in medcoms, but especially freelancers, because we work alone, usually, like most if all of us work remotely, so we're working on our own. And we communicate with clients by email and Zoom calls and things like that. And so I found over the course of my career in medical communications that the role of community has been very important. And I think as AI sort of evolves and becomes more integrated with our lives, I think it's becoming even more important. And I know this kind of reflects things that you've talked about in your podcast before, especially I listened to the episode about hiring in medical writing, and I thought this exactly makes the point that I'm thinking of, because one thing that I think is really important is just that it gives you the real life. Like, you find out from other people, like, how is this working in real life? Like, if you're using AI, how are other people using it? What have they tried? What has not tried? What are their clients asking? What are the, if there's faculty advisors, what's their opinion on it? All those things. Like, you find out, like, in real projects, everyone learns what they through their own experience, but having community kind of amplifies that. So that's a really important part. Then also things like, because AI is sort of getting into hiring practices, it actually sort of slows things down a lot, because hiring managers and clients looking for freelancers just get flooded with AI requests. So they depend even more on personal connections. So there's things like that, the role of community has become really strong. And I think we also just need more human connection, because there is a lot of value in what technology gives us. Like, you can learn anything on YouTube, nearly anything, which is great. And I don't think that should be, withdrawn at all. Like, there's a lot of value in being able to learn so much so quickly. But we used to have to learn from people, like from teachers in real life. And so I think community is important, just to not lose that like something special. So we have to just be more intentional about it. So that's kind of my thoughts on community in general and why it's important in medical writing. And my talk at the summit will go into more detail about exactly the benefits and some approaches you can take.
I love
Abigale,
that.
you've been running for the past few years the AMWA Jam session for new medical writers. So what do you see as the profile of new medical writers? What are the doubts that they usually have, and what are their hopes and dreams? Who is this person that is thinking, should I become a medical writer or not? You probably have lots of insight on that.
Yeah, that's a great question. So yeah, I did do the new freelancer jam session, kind of new and early career, for a couple years. Last year, Crystal Heron ran it and did a great job, and I think she's doing it again this year. And so I would say the types of things. So let's see. The profile is people. It's people who have usually started. Like, it's people who have already made that jump into medical writing. Like, they've made that decision already. And usually what I find is the key kind of question they have is reassurance that they're doing things correctly, like how to write invoices, how to market to clients, how to write an estimate, like how to go through a briefing call. Like, every session has sort of goes in different directions, and has different emphasis, but there's always, that's kind of the vein, the common thread in them is like some kind of reassurance of, like, is what I'm doing on the right path? And that comes back to the kind of real world part of it. Like, what are other people actually doing? And what I find interesting is it's not just new freelancers, because I also, as you know, host a community called the Anthill, which has some new writers, but a lot of very experienced writers. And even writers who have been freelancers who've been in medcoms for 20 years have questions like, my client said this and I don't know what to say, or I have this new type of project that I haven't done. Has anyone done this before? So it doesn't stop. Like people still have questions and doubts and insecurities. So if you think it's just me, it's not. And I guess that's one more benefit of community is that you find out whatever thing you're worried about, it's not just you. It's for sure, it's not just you. Others have had the same questions and doubts and worries, and they've figured it out, and they can help you figure it out too.
Yeah. So actually, that's a great lead in. I was going to ask, but maybe I don't need to anymore, for you to tell us a little bit about Anthill and how you use the Anthill community to like help medical writers in their work. But I guess that your answer already answered that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and the other way I explain the Anthill, because it's a mix of like it's an online platform, so there's like asynchronous, chats, but we have events. And the way I describe it, if in a short version, is that it's a way to have colleagues, because as freelancers, we don't have like a company structure around us with colleagues that we can chat with, and so it's a way to have sort of freelance colleagues in a semi-structured environment. So there's no pressure or obligation to sort of attend a certain number of things. You come to what you want and what's useful, but it's a way to have that sort of uh, colleagues that you would have if you had an employment position.
And that's one of the things I love about medical writing, right? I still remember going to my first AMWA conference and like just being so surprised by how welcoming everybody was. It
Yeah.
was really, before that, I'd only been to academic medical conferences, and it's not to say that pediatricians aren't nice people, but AMWA was like above and beyond, like, hey, come in. Who are you? It's nice to meet you. How can I help you? And so for folks who are listening who are maybe new to medical writing, I really think, especially for anybody who comes from any type of academia that can sometimes be a competitive environment, it's a really welcome change. And it's important for folks to know who are new that it's a welcoming community, and community is an important aspect of who we are, I would say. Would you agree?
Yeah, that's a great point. And you're right that I don't know what it is about medical writers, but everyone is very welcoming, friendly, supportive. And I think probably a bit of it is that as freelancers, like anyone who's a bit more experienced, to get to that point had to have received help early in their career and had to have received like someone taking a chance on them, someone giving their time to answer questions. And so usually there's a sense of wanting to give back a little bit, or like, knowing I've been in your spot and I am happy to help, like happy to pay it forward. But you're right, there's something really special about people in medcoms that any group of people in medcoms, you'll have fun and you'll have an interesting conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Thanks, Abigail.